All right, well, we're heading into another cold night, but Multnomah County and several others have closed warming shelters. They opened them last night because of the potential snow. And today we learned hundreds of people went to get warm. In Multnomah County, 325 people went to severe weather shelters throughout the county last night. The county says that was higher than they initially planned, but they were able to add beds. 48 people stayed at the Cook Plaza shelter in Southeast Portland, 62 at the Hollywood shelter in Northeast, and 102 stayed at a shelter on Northwest 14th. Another 113 people spent the night at Salvation Army shelters. In Washington County, 63 people spent the night at two shelters, one in Beaverton and one in Hillsborough. Now, that homeless woman you just heard from, she told me she stayed at the Cook Plaza shelter in Southeast Portland last night. She says she was given a tent and tarp and was in Old Town today looking for a place to set it up.
Actually, that's what I got right here. I went to off of 194th and Stark. I went to a shelter there, which was fantastic. I want to give them big props for that. I got a tent, I got a tarp. There was all sorts of food resources there. They had mats there. They were very generous.
Now let's get to a question from a viewer about when the shelters open. We get some version of this every time there's severe weather. Charisse wrote to us last night. She says, I saw the newscast that shelters were opening due to the cold. They opened Monday in Washington County, Clark County, and others, but Multnomah County didn't open theirs. The news said that it didn't meet their threshold requirements. They did open one Tuesday, but it was almost as cold Monday night, so why wouldn't they have opened it Monday night? Well, I asked Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega-Peterson that question yesterday. She says the county has certain thresholds. Those are the ones you can see right there on your screen regarding temperatures and/or snowfall. But they also base their decision on a medical perspective, like if they're seeing an uptick in EMS calls and emergency room visits.
You know, we were really watching closely about the thresholds. We know that there's been cold weather over the last couple of weeks that has cumulative effects. We saw some of those numbers go up in terms of ambulance and emergency room visits, and we wanted to be responsive for that. The thresholds are reviewed about every 18 months, and we do that in partnership with the City of Portland. We do have different thresholds than our neighboring counties, but I will say that on an average night, we also have about 3,200 shelter beds that are open throughout Multnomah County. If you look at Washington County, they have about 400. If you look at Clackamas County, they have about 200. So on a regular basis, we have more options open.
Multnomah County closed the severe weather shelters today at noon. Beds are still available tonight at the year-round shelters.